story time, how I had discipline, strong discipline. So we gonna call this girl Rakaya. So Rakaya, me and Rakaya met off an app. Okay, I didn't know this was gonna turn out like it turned out. So me and Rakaya met off an app called app Wiz. Y'all probably know. Most teenagers know. And like the app is for grown-ups, but you could say your age on there. So Rakaya, I slid off Rakaya page in her little thing and said hi and say hey. She said, I said, oh, you in 5 No, she said, oh, you in 5 too? I said, yeah, I'm in 5 too. And I said, you're pretty. And I said, no way you in 5. Then, she took my number down, because I gave her my number after. I said, you pretty, I want to get to know you more. She took my number down. And notice, I was following God when soon we gonna get into that part, but she took my number down at night, actually started telling me about her boyfriend. He was abusive. He used to beat on me, but I'm lucky I have you. I need some real love. I used to buy him everything, all of that. Notice that I said this at the beginning of the video. And we end up, I'm getting to know her. Next day I had to go to school. I'm texting her on my phone. I'm like, I really like her. She was pretty or whatever. She was fine. She's still fine. But I can't go off the way she act no more. And she said, oh, she started telling me about her ex she had. She didn't like the way she treated her. I said, oh, that ain't gonna happen with me. And I kept my word. I still keep my word today. That didn't happen with me today. So, we go on a first date. First date, go to the mall. I think that day I didn't pay for anything. I wanted to pay for stuff. I think I gave her money though. No, I didn't pay for anything. But that night we went to the mall in my city. I probably said where I'm from. In that place. And we went after that. After we got our food, we went. She called her mom. And said, stand side by side by me. And we stood side by side. And this where the discipline part coming, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. We did kiss. We went to Barnes and Noble, eat, then kiss. And like this where this actually let me not jump in like that. But after we left Barnes and Noble, we went to Dave and Buster's. We went back to the bus station. We went for the bus station. It's like we get there around nighttime. This where the discipline part come in, bro. She like okay, can you like follow me? And I'm like, uh, my mom was like, I ain't wanna really get into that. At that point, I didn't wanna get into that. And as a man, bro, you gotta be disciplined when it's like most men would have probably said yeah. But you gotta be disciplined. Your discipline gotta be stronger than like. And the reason why I said no because reason why I wasn't into that because I wanted to protect my energy to have respect for myself. So like you gotta like it's like a respect thing. Like when you dealing with these girls, when you wanna meet them for them and really see them with a clear eye, you wanna be disciplined. You wanna keep your energy. But she was like, we was walking up to Dave and Buster's. I was like saying my stuff, and but I wasn't really getting into it like that. I was being a little freak, but I wasn't into her like that. We walking out to Dave and Buster's. Notice, I'm like 17. So we couldn't get in because we wasn't 18. Both of us was 17 at this time. We couldn't get in. So I'm like, that's pain. So notice we all the way 30 minutes from where I live and from where she lived. So we bored for a minute though. We waiting for the bus to come back. We checked when the bus coming back. Thank God the bus was coming right back. Cause we was about to be stuck. We then before that we was thinking like well we can go bowling. You had to be 18 too. Cause this was this was around 10 something. Bowling you had to be 18. So movies you had to be 18 too. So now we looking at it like we have to be 18 for everything out here. Everything we would buy. Everything we could think of, we had to be 18. And like we didn't notice. We didn't know that we had to be 18 to go into Dave and Buster. That's just something they originally changed. If y'all don't know, Dave and Buster's like is a grown up place at that time we went. So it make more sense to me, and I'm like that do make sense. But fast forward. We read after we got back on the bus. We got back on. We went back to the center, walked to VOs, rode the VOs. And I didn't, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know how to ride a VO, so I'm like, yeah, we can ride VOs being a gentleman and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we can ride VOs. And we ride in VOs for like 2 hours. I'm like, I can't ride a VO. So she like, hop on my VO. And we gone riding through the city. That night was a fun night, boy. I can't lie. So hour, 2 hours passed by, 3 hours passed by. It's going on from 10. I done been with this girl all day from till 3. So it's cold. I call my dad. He like, you still out? I'm like, my dad mad, bro. My dad. I know my dad was mad. she like, how you gonna get home? I'm like, we gotta go to the bank to put some money on the card. Then I was like, thinking like, bruh, this could go two ways bad. And notice the bank was like 45 minutes out. So I'm like, we can walk to the bank. It ain't nothing. I'm standing 10. I'm standing 10 toes. We walk to the bank. It's cold. We cold. We freezing. So we, before we go to the bank, we make calls like, Dad, we make calls, and my grandma, we make calls, and my uncle calling. Everybody, nobody picking up. We walked to the bank. We got back around 3. So she was like, hold on, let me go back inside. I'm gonna call you a taxi. I'm gonna see if I can call you a taxi. Taxi ain't pick up. Taxi ain't pick up. Call taxi again. He didn't pick up. So we get me Uber. And this like kinda, I guess, would throw her off about me. Cause I didn't like have plans in order. But they say like in a relationship, when you going through a hard time, you supposed to stick that hard time out. They say that in a relationship. So I feel like it was a test from God, testing the relationship waters. And like to saying this, like when you go through hard times with a partner you want to be with for the future, don't let them go because you went through a hard time. So I'm like, so I get home. I said, wanna still go to sleep on the phone? No, we on the phone. I'm in a taxi. I'm in the Uber going home. So she like, after that, I leave and go home because I'm at my grandma's house in the city. I leave and go home. She like, after that, oh, I'ma just zoom to the part where she said it. She already said right before I left, do you want to be friends? And I was like, yeah, we can be friends, but I was just joking. So she said, like, after that, she said, no, like, I think we should be friends, and because I want to get back with my ex. Notice, this is the ex that she was talking about that used to, like, beat her, abuse her, things in that nature. So I'm like, why he abused her? You don't know yet. And one thing, like, girls, know your value. Lon- and I was like, when she asked me over the phone, I was like, you don't even know your worth. You want to go back to somebody that broke your heart, threw your heart on the floor. He gonna do it again. You don't know your worth. Da, da, da. And I said, I don't want to be friends. Like, you can go on ahead. I'm good. Because at that time, I was good. And that's how I learned how to be nonchalant. That's how I learned how to be nonchalant. Gonna talk about that in the next video. So if you want to hear a lot about that, go to the next video.